Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit is sailing the 70s in search for pirate booty.
You missed a big opportunity there.
Oh, go on.
Doing like a yo-ho, biscuits life for me.
I mean, I didn't.
Damn.
I'm your host, James, joined by my co-host, Jade. Say hello.
Arr.
Aye, matey. Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean? What a banger.
It is a banger.
I don't know what made us decide to do this on the podcast.
We didn't. You did.
Great. It's my baby, you always say.
It is your baby.
And I just fancied it. Just fancied a bit of
pirate life.
A bit of a throwback.
Bit of pirate's life for you.
The pirate's life is for really bad eggs. That was it. I had some really bad eggs and I was like, I'm gonna watch Pirates of the Caribbean. This is pre-MCU. Mm-hmm. Cast your mind back. Mm-hmm. Where were you when this film came out?
I think it was like 2003.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I remember being in my last year at primary school and everybody was watching it. Mm-hmm. Everybody. People absolutely loved Captain Jack Sparrow.
Did you catch this at the cinema?
No.
Oh, me neither.
Do you know how I caught it?
Go on.
Pirate copy.
Piracy costs jobs. Oh, destroy the industry and your viewing pleasure. Don't touch the hot stuff. Cool is copyright.
Yeah, somebody was kind of passing it round at school. So I ended up having...
You had a pirate copy of a pirate movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a criminal. I'm not, I promise.
Don't touch the hot stuff.
I remember watching it and it was a really crappy copy. Whoever had got it and brought it, I was like, oh, okay. But I remember thinking it was quite mid back then.
Okay.
I don't know why. It didn't capture my attention for as long as I think it needed to. Because I just thought it was too fucking long.
But this is in a time where films were they were pushing 2 hours. There was never really anything over it.
Yeah.
And anything that was over 2.5 hours was a big epic.
With Lord of the Rings.
It was Lord of the Rings, it was Star Wars, and then Pirates of the Caribbean came in. I remember everyone talking about this, and people were like reeling off bits of the film. And I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting, I'll have to check it out. And then I didn't. I just waited and waited and waited.
Why did you wait?
I don't know, it never piqued my interest enough. I thought, pirates, who cares? I'm a Muppets Treasure Island guy. That's my pirate movie.
So before Pirates of the Caribbean came about, were people interested in pirate movies?
Oh God, no. Famously, box office poison.
Poison pirates.
Poison pirates. I think they stem back to the old Errol Flynn type things.
Yeah.
Sort of movies. But then it comes back round to Cutthroat Island, which really put a nail in the coffin for pirate movies. Have you seen Cutthroat Island?
I haven't seen that.
With Gina Davis?
No.
Apparently, it wasn't very good, but it was very expensive.
Right, okay.
And then like no one would touch them. Pirate movies.
Because I imagine that kind of pirate movies back in day.
Oh,
were they either on really expensive sound sets?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where they having to use a lot of water, it costs a lot of money.
I think Cutthroat Island was different because I think they did that stuff on location. Mm-hmm. So an attempt was made. However, I think the script didn't work. There was a poor direction as well. Just a bad movie.
Yeah, I think as well, there's always a bit of a thing as well about pirates being something for children.
Is
Do you
it?
think maybe as well, in pirates in general?
Oh, no. Pirates famously not children.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, growing up, I remember pirates and princess parties and stuff like that.
No, not me. I was never really... obviously I was aware of pirates. I thought they were really cool, but I was wrapped up in the dinosaur stuff.
You're a dino boy.
I was a dino boy. And then space came around and I was like, okay, well, I'm not interested in pirates.
Because I think there were certain topics when we were growing up that kids would end up just absolutely latching onto. And I think pirates for some people was that.
That's fair.
So I don't know if it maybe found itself, like, you know, when you look at kids' books and stuff, there's a lot of them about pirates trying to find treasure, but because we're all friends.
Yeah.
Polly the parrot.
Polly Want-A-Cracker. Yeah. Yeah, things like that. It's in the public psyche, but I don't think anyone's... Back then, anyway, no one was interested.
Yeah.
And then Muppets Treasure Island happened. I need to talk about it, because it's the best pirate movie ever made. There, I said it. But Muppets Treasure Island is peak. And I think... I mean it.
I think the story Treasure Island is peak.
Yeah, but with Muppets, though.
Even Treasure Planet is peak. I think the stories is what's
Oh,
good.
okay, that's fair.
You can't just stick Kermit in something and it'd just be better.
I think that's how the meeting went at Disney. You can't just stick Kermit in something, and then they went, watch us.
Watch us do this.
Yeah, but that used a lot of, I wouldn't say location stuff, it had sets, but I think they had a big ship. They knew what they were doing with that. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say about Muppet Treasure Island today. That's its own episode, much further down the line. But this is based on a theme park ride.
Yes, this is based on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland.
Okay, so are you a Disney gal?
I think I'm a Disney gal, but I like my theme parks. I like my rides.
Okay.
Especially a ride that's like a dark ride or something where there's a good story playing through it that kind of immerses you.
Okay.
And the Pirates of the Caribbean was one of those rides. And I think around the time as well, I think it was one of the first ones to really capture people's attention.
Why is that, do you think?
Do you know what? I've got no idea. It's because it doesn't really seem like it would go very much. Because it almost plays a little bit like a ghost train.
Yeah.
Because it's quite... They use spooky imagery, but it's not in a spooky way. Again, they've gone the same way that they do with Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is more story-focused, though.
It is more story-focused.
Whereas this is... I think it was like one of the first ones to really show off the animatronics and how good they were.
Yeah. A lot of the beginning parts of it as well, in the ride, it's all skeleton pirates.
Yeah.
All in different poses. Like it's like a captain like looking over a treasure map.
There's the one on the helm.
Yeah.
That was famously one of the posters for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was always the imagery that we see in the film. You can tell where they've taken it from the ride.
Oh yeah. But story-wise,
there isn't really one in the ride. It just follows kind of a band of pirates pilfering a village.
Yeah.
And it shows different scenes around the village. Mm-hmm. I think it starts off in the Bayou, actually. It starts off in Louisiana. It's really random. So it's all really calm and you hear like A Pirate's Life for Me. There's like an old man on a porch with like a banjo.
I remember hearing someone say like Dead Men Tell No Tales or something?
Yeah, that's the opening of it.
That's the opening. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay. I've been on that ride a few times, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't think it's as good as Haunted Mansion.
Well, no. Haunted Mansion is a different kettle of fish. Very similar.
But they have a similar... I think they're very kind of similar in the kind of routes they take, and I think they just completely immerse the audience in.
It's different with the special effects, I think, as well. Whereas the Pirates ride is animatronics, and that one is more, oh, look what we can do with smoke and mirrors. Like, literally, in some cases. We're going to be comparing this film to a certain film about a Haunted Mansion.
Because they both tried to do the same thing, basically. And obviously, Pirates of the Caribbean had a very different result compared to what happened to the Haunted Mansion.
Well, it's because of Pirates of the Caribbean that we actually got a Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah, and a Jungle Cruise.
Oh, God, yeah! I haven't been on Jungle Cruise.
I haven't.
Okay, I've not seen the film either.
Neither have I.
Okay, great.
Hey.
Okay, so it's weird to me that they waited this long to do it, though.
Do you think?
Well, when did the ride come out?
1967.
1967. So that's a good 40 years.
Yes, so it was completed 3 months before, so 3 months after Walt's untimely death.
Oh. Did he ever get to go on it?
He did. Well, no, because it was finally completed 3 months after he died.
Damn it. Maybe that's why. Maybe people flocked to it and it's like, it's the new ride. And...
It's the last thing he ever oversaw. Yeah. Personally, that is.
Yeah, and I imagine it caught people's imagination in that respect as well. Because it is a good ride.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's been emulated in all the parks as well.
Mm-hmm. Which is a vibe.
It is.
The film is... I'll say it. I think this is a masterpiece. Knocked it straight out of the park.
I can't agree quite there.
Okay, we've been through this.
Privately.
Privately. We'll talk about it in the next episode because I think that's where our love for this franchise really comes to life.
Yeah.
But as a jumping off point, this is spot on.
Oh yeah, it knows exactly what it's doing.
What is it doing?
I think it's just telling a really fun adventure story.
Yeah. It's a mummy, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's got characters that people can really like. And I mean, Captain Jack Sparrow completely took off. People loved him so much.
Uh-huh. I don't think there was any real pressure on it.
No.
Because I think if this film came out nowadays to be like, oh, it has to make so many millions of pounds or whatever, I think back then Disney was still taking a bit of a risk. Because what were they doing animated-wise? I think it was probably like Chicken Little around this time. Maybe Brother Bear-esque.
Yeah.
Not much. I think they were sort of playing it safe a wee bit. So they thought, okay, we'll put that money in this Johnny Depp pirate movie. Everyone, I think that is a good tool to give creative people, though. If you say, do whatever you want, we're not bothered.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to really go, okay, well, we're going to really turn it up to 11.
Yeah, you know exactly where you're taking your ideas from. Here's the ride. Take the good ideas from that. And you can tell they've taken bits and pieces from that, because we get images recreated. You can see how it's beautifully woven into a story.
Yeah.
That makes fucking sense.
Is that a dig at the rest of the pirate franchise?
A little bit, and also to the fucking Haunted Mansion.
When we say the Haunted Mansion movie, are you talking about the Eddie Murphy one or the latest
They're
one?
They're both a bit crap.
Okay, great. You like the new one, so
I like the newer one more, but oh my god, they had such great opportunities and they didn't fucking do it. Those, honestly, this is me ranting about the Haunted Mansion. That ride comes with a fucking story, and they did. Both films decided just to go, fuck that.
Yeah.
We'll just take bits and create really convoluted, stupid characters no one cares about. Oh, it makes me so mad. Whereas I think Pirates does better.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have one.
You've got the base there for a good movie, and you can do whatever you want. You've got a good base to do whatever you want, and a foundation to build upon. This is directed by Gore Verbinski. Are you familiar with the work of Mr. Verbinski?
Oh, my favourite Gore.
I don't know what that means. Do you have any other Gores? Al?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Are you familiar with his work? You should be.
What else has he done?
He's directed Mouse Hunt, which I'm a big fan of, #Nathan Lane. But also he did the American adaptation of The Ring.
Okay.
And then he did this.
Wow, what a change.
Honestly, before I started that sentence, I thought you were a bigger fan of The Ring. And then midway through that sentence, your expression never changed. And I was like, she's not into The Ring.
Oh, it's because Juan is such a better film. But I remember The Ring. People absolutely loved that when it came out. It really captured the kind of horror audience.
Is a filmmaker who's not afraid to dabble in a sort of surreal aspect.
Well, who's the producer of this? Is it Jerry?
Mr. Bruckheimer himself.
Because I like his logo with the lightning striking the tree.
Uh-huh.
I think that's really cool.
But he's done films such as Con Air. A lot of Michael Bay stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that he's lent it to... He's gone, okay, the Pirates, let's go.
Let's go Pirates.
Let's go Pirates! Yeah. Jonathan Depp. His career's had many ups and downs. Not in his personal life.
This isn't a talk about his personal life in any way.
No. I think his star was slightly falling off a little bit before this came out. When was the last big Johnny Depp film, probably?
I don't remember, because obviously Edward Scissorhands, kind of Sleepy Hollow, that was ages before all this.
Yeah. But I
think he was in the public psyche. Like he was still doing things.
Oh yeah, he was never not working.
But I don't know, something about this character and the way he portrayed him is just absolutely incredible.
He is phenomenal in this film, in this franchise. Quite honestly,
yeah.
He was nominated for an Oscar for this.
Well, as he should be.
I think that's good on the Academy to go, okay, yeah, you're not playing a serial killer or whatever that gets nominated, or a biopics or whatever. You've created your own character, and you're deeply invested that even when the cameras are, I've seen like bloopers and stuff where he's gone wrong, he's still in there.
He's so far in that character's head.
Yeah.
And it's the way he's created all these little things for him, like with the stuff he has in his hair, even to his tattoos. I love that he did all that on his own. He
famously based him off the guitarist Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, which you can see.
Yeah.
I think Keith Richards appears in the third one.
In the third one, yeah. Isn't it his dad?
Yeah, he plays his dad. Oh, okay. I don't think anyone's bothered about the Pirates
As
film.
it should be.
Well, no, because this franchise has completely fallen off now.
Yes, it's being revamped, isn't it? Aren't they starting again?
The thing is, if they reboot it and they bring Mr. Jonathan Depp back, fine. I think people would be happy to see him return. If they rebooted it, kiss of death.
I think it's a kiss of death too.
Because I think people, even though this franchise isn't as talked about as it used to be, I think the fan base would be, I think they're loyal to it. I know I would be.
Yeah, people like to see Depp, and I think, not saying it's going to have an all certain gendered cast, but I think if he was to reboot it, people would have the same reaction as they did to the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah. I think we've learnt a lot from that as a species.
Well, we haven't, because people still get into those stupid things again, and I think it would struggle for the same thing. No matter how well made it would be, it would still fall under that. People would all be asking the question, why is this being made?
Yeah.
Money talks.
Money talks, exactly.
Do we need more Pirates of the Caribbean films without Johnny Depp?
We didn't need any more after this one. I think the plan was for it to just be... This one feels like an open and close. Mm-hmm. You could just leave it at this. Obviously, we get 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Mm-hmm. They seem to dip in quality each time, and like the box
except
office.
for Dead Man's Chest.
You'd say that, wouldn't you? You'd say that.
Dead Man's Chest. Sorry, that didn't have to go as hard as it fucking did.
Didn't make as much bank as number 4. Number 4 crossed $1 billion.
It doesn't matter. Dead Man's Chest will always be amazing. I remember the hype for Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah, I think we have to address the fact that this is pre any superhero genre. I think maybe we had the X-Men and Spider-Man going off at this time.
Yeah.
We had superhero movies. We didn't have an MCU.
Yeah, we didn't have all the blast off that we had with Iron Man or anything like that.
I think the casting of Johnny Depp and his character here is as good as RDJ and Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. An actor will sometimes get a role that they're always remembered for, and it will always be Captain Jack Sparrow for...
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Jonathan Depp.
I mean, when we talk about what things that have happened in Mr. Depp's personal life, it's always the memes of Captain Jack that have appeared that people have commented using. So I think it's really shown that he's there. I think when people think pirates, they think of Captain Jack.
What is it? The fancy dress shops where they don't name.
Oh yeah.
They don't have the official license to name something. A certain thing. For instance, the Beetlejuice costume is named the
Juice Demon.
The Juice Demon. Things like that. But there's always one of Captain Jack Sparrow, and it'll say like Sea Captain,
Drunken Sea Captain.
Drunken Sea Captain, yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's always that. What a banger of a performance.
But even now, like at kids' parties and stuff, when they have different performers, whatever, I've seen you can hire Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. We saw him in Matlock.
We did.
We went on it. Just a side story. We went to Matlock and we went on the little rowboats.
We did our own Little Mermaid, didn't we?
Yeah, Kiss the Girl. Yeah, and there's a guy dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow, like by these little paddle boats
for no reason.
He didn't do anything. Really interact with us. He was just like, okay, here I am. Would you like?
He told you to buy me something, and he was like, no.
I was like, no, Mr. Jack Sparrow. I was in a pirate show when I was a holiday entertainer, and for this big pirate show, the big opening, we hired a Captain Jack Sparrow impersonator. The problem was he was a pervert because and I'll call him out, Captain Jack Sparrow. I didn't know his real name, but because it was in a swimming pool, he was obviously around people in bikinis the whole time, and he just kept flirting with all the women, and then didn't really do anything outside of that. And we were all like, okay, well, we're here. We've paid you to come here to boost this.
It was in character.
No, he wasn't. Jack Sparrow is not a pervert.
But he's a ladies' man.
He may be many things. He is not a pervert.
What was your pirate name?
Sharkbait Cackle McStinky. But I completely copied the Jack Sparrow run all the time. Which you shouldn't run in a swimming pool, quite famously.
No, you should not.
I know we've talked a little bit about Jack Sparrow.
A little bit.
Yeah. An actor who's so good, really elevates this. Maybe it could have floundered if it had been any other actor.
Yeah, he needed to be him.
But I think Mr. Geoffrey Rush is as good as Captain Barbossa.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
He's perfect as the kind of counter villain in this because he's bad, but you can't help but love him because he brings such charisma to the role. I don't know, he's great.
Is it the apple munching you like?
Yes.
Ah.
I get you a big hat.
Yeah, he's quite flamboyant.
He is, yeah. I just love his attitude. He's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he works really well with Jack. They don't have many scenes together, which is a shame.
When they do, it's completely electric.
Yeah, I think it's good that the franchise sort of carried those two over, like going forward.
Yeah. Is it like a double act eventually?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Like they hate each other, but essentially they both want to be the captain of Black Pearl.
And they never kiss.
They never kiss.
Fun.
Would you watch that?
Yes.
Great. You like talking about Costumes.
I adore the costumes in this.
You do?
Oh my god, I do.
What is it about the
I
costumes
feel like
in
they
this?
capture the time period perfectly. They're not all squeaky clean pirates. They are all...
They're dirty.
They're all fucked up. They look
Yeah.
great. I think Keira Knightley's dresses
Mm-hmm.
are absolutely exquisite.
Yeah.
I think she looks amazing all the way through this. I love me a naval uniform.
You do like a naval uniform, don't you? That's weird. Is it the blue ones or the red ones?
Oh, I like the blue, but I like the red.
Yeah.
Oh, either or. I just think that they all look so good.
That really lends itself to the production design and costume design, but the production as well. This feels like a pirate movie. You are invested in this world. You are lost in every little detail.
Yeah, 'cause it's also a bit of a period piece as well, really.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, what period is it?
Old.
Great. Production design with obviously the boats and stuff, but the house at the start, like Port Royal and Tortuga and things like this. Not to mention the fucking boats.
Oh, it's incredible.
I think they built some.
You got the East India Trading Company, how they're dressed,
Yeah.
and obviously the kind of actions they would be taking. It's all very much what you would expect at that time.
Yeah.
And it's not something as well I feel like pirate films haven't really dived into as much as I'd like them to.
Okay.
I've always felt the ones I'd kind of seen before, all very Blackbeardy kind of stories, where it was all over the open sea searching for treasure.
Yeah.
This is a bit different.
What other pirate films have you seen?
I know I've definitely seen them.
Oh, okay. I'm not
I
doubting
can't
you.
I can't think off the top of my head though.
Okay.
I remember watching old ones on TV.
Like proper...
Like proper old. I remember seeing black and white
Oh, black and white. Okay, yeah,
stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there a Treasure Island?
Yeah.
A really old one? Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of stereotypical idea people have of pirates, you know, like with a map and an X marks the spot.
And the parrot.
Peg legs, and like, a lot of that I think comes from Treasure Island.
Yes. There are cliches considered with pirates, and you'd be a fool to ignore them. I think this film and this world sort of brings them close and is like, yeah, we're not going to get rid of those cliches. They're very much what people know about pirates.
It brings it in, but also it kind of matches it up a little bit to the period that we would have had real pirates. I mean, we've got pirates now still, but the pirates...
Well, Captain Phillips style.
The pirates that we kind of know and love from storybooks.
Yeah. I mean, the pirates are very different nowadays.
I think they're not as glamorous as they were made out back then either.
No, absolutely. I don't understand why we've victimised them. I mean, not pirates these days, but like pirates in the old days, obviously they're evil. They're outlaws, essentially.
I remember being at school and they had a book on pirates. Do you remember those like weird encyclopedia books?
Yeah.
Like, here's ancient Egypt.
Oh,
They was our Google, weren't they?
I think I had a CD-ROM of an encyclopedia that I had.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't a full copy. Like, I think you have to pay for the full thing. But I remember they had yodeling on there. And I remember clicking it because it played the sound of yodeling. It was always funny.
I remember reading this book about pirates, about real ones, and the things they used to do to each other. And there was a massive page on the different flags that different pirate ships would use.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, I think it was like the red one. If you saw that, it meant they was going to kill everyone on board.
What was the... Okay, what about the Skull and Crossbones?
I think the Skull and Crossbones one was... Again, I'm having to kind of dive back in my head. I think it meant that they were pirates, but there's a chance she'd probably just get kidnapped.
Okay. Okay.
So so basically, there are pirate flags that all mean different things, but they kind of are all used.
Never knew that.
But no, I remember thinking it was terrifying. I don't know why, but it did something in my head, and I was like, oh, I don't like that.
That's fair. Do you think this is scary?
No.
Okay, well, me and you have watched a completely different film. I think if I was a kid... This is a 12. This is 12A. I think maybe back then it was still a 12 before it came in. I don't know when that year that was. But I remember it being really, really creepy.
I remember thinking it was cool. The scene that we all know and love. I think that the trailers kind of indicated with the moonlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And all the pirates on the deck.
Yeah. You better start believing in ghost stories and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's such a great scene. Watching it back now, does it hold up?
Ish. Not quite as much as I remember it doing. But I think maybe my memory of it was completely different because I watched it on VHS. On VHS, obviously, CGI can look better because the image is not as good. Whereas tonight we watched it on Blu-ray. I imagine it's worse on 4K. maybe like, oh, that's a shame. However, I think that's using its budget sparingly. I don't know what the budget was for this, but I can't imagine it being as high as its sequels.
Yeah.
Because its sequels knocked it out of the park in terms of visual effects.
Oh, yeah. The second one.
Well, we'll talk about the second one.
Yeah, Mr. Jones.
Oh! Mr. Jones.
Calling David Jones. Oh, he's a vibe.
That's still good CGI.
That's amazing.
So much so that we don't get CGI as good as that these days.
No.
Insane.
But I felt like watching this back tonight. I always thought it looked a little bit goofy, and I thought that again tonight.
Were you aware of some of the sets? Because
Yeah.
I was this time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a set. I'm there for it. It looks nice. Mm-hmm. But I was like,
They did film a lot on the location, though, didn't they?
And you can tell. I think it pops when it's at the location.
Because you can tell where the actors are catching the sun as well.
Yeah. Everyone's got a tan.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I mean, like I say, Keira Knightley starts the film off.
Yeah.
Well, it's like she's been cooped up inside for too long. She ends it looking beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful cast.
Oh, speaking of Keira Knightley.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Do you like her character in this alongside Orlando Bloom?
Okay, my issue with these two, and this carries on throughout this trilogy, is that there's always a problem that could be solved by just the communication. Mm-hmm. I think it's worse in the third one.
Yeah.
Maybe after like, she's kissed Jack and stuff. Spoilers. In this one, they're there for a purpose, and that purpose is he's playing the swashbuckling Errol Flynn type guy, and she, although she is playing a damsel in distress, there's a certain point where that stops and she becomes Elizabeth Swann. Her character arc is fulfilled in this movie. Obviously, we know what happens later on. That she becomes a bigger swashbuckler herself, but they're there for a purpose and they serve that purpose.
Yes.
They are bearable in this one, and I find them unbearable later on.
I was also the same with them both, because again, I feel like this story makes sense in this because they're not together until right at the end, so there's a bit of that love story playing underneath. I think there's still characters you root for, though.
Oh, yeah. I don't think no one's unlikable in this. I think even the people who are supposed to be unlikable, like Norrington.
I love Norrington.
He
got fucked over. Norrington deserved better.
That's Jack Davenport. He is...
Fine.
What? You got a crush on Jack Davenport?
He's a beautiful, beautiful man.
He's very British. This is a beautiful sword. Everyone talk like that.
Look at the balance of this sword.
Can we have a round of applause, please, for Mr. Jonathan Pryce?
Yes!
Not that he's done anything to deserve that, just that he's in it. He didn't have to do anything. He could have been the caterer for all I care. But I just like seeing him.
Oh, he's such a vibe, no matter where he turns up.
Every time I see him, I'm like, that's Jonathan Pryce, and I appreciate you. I don't always know what he does. Is he in Evita?
Yes.
He's in Ryvita. Yeah.
He's an amazing singer.
Is he?
Yes.
That blows my mind.
He's been in Miss Saigon and everything. He's great.
Does he sing in this?
Sadly, we don't get the big Jonathan Pryce medley that we need.
Oh, should he sing in this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
No, I think this song doesn't have... So this movie doesn't need cheesy songs like this, because instead...
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up.
We get such a score.
I think we've got our facts crossed a little bit on this one, because I was under the impression that Hans Zimmer did all this himself. Mm-hmm. This is not the case.
No, it's not.
Well, you got the fact.
Yes, he had an assistant initially, Klaus. I want to say something.
Klaus, yeah.
Who was initially.
You know what to say? Keep your friends Klaus. Keep your enemies closer. Yes.
No one's clapping you.
He shoots. He scores. Keep your friends Klaus. Did you hear what I said?
No one's listening.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But no, he initially Hans was asked, didn't really have the time, so he passed it on to his assistant, and then Hans ended up doing most of it anyway, including the main theme. He's a pirate, which is such a fucking banger.
I've done an editorial on this a long time ago, very early Biscuits Blurays days.
Oh, well done.
Where I said there's 30 seconds in the second one where I think is pure cinema.
Yeah.
I just love it, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. but the music in this sends me. I think obviously Hans Zimmer has done. He's done the music for the Batman movies. He's done Dune, Interstellar, a lot of Christopher Nolan stuff.
If you like a movie score, it's likely to have had Hans Zimmer's input in some of it.
I'm not saying he's
the king,
because I don't think he is.
Oh, he is.
Mr. John Williams is the king.
No.
However, I think Hans Zimmer is top notch as well. Lion King, that's a good Hans Zimmer one. Am I wrong? Where's the lie?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, smash it out of the park with that main theme. I could listen to that all day. In fact, sometimes I often did.
Do you know what I think I did? I remember being obsessed with it, thinking it was like the best thing I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a good violin as well.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is just amazing. I think it's also because we've got a score like this. Added with the kind of imagery we've got with the amazing special effects, etc. Not the skeleton effects; they can go sit in the bin. You know what I mean? The kind of like the fighting stuff. But I mean, to be fair, the skeleton fight at the end's quite good.
All the fighting scenes.
When you
are
add that kind of all into one, this is a blockbuster film.
Yeah, and it's weird that it's a swashbuckler.
And we don't get films like this anymore.
I think the last one before this would probably be Zorro, and I think people did like the first Zorro.
It's got a bit of a Zorro-esque to it with how Orlando Bloom's dressed. And
Yeah. So I don't know. Are people interested in a swashbuckler anymore? Does that cut it for action? Obviously, we've got all these big explosions and stuff. We've got the MCU, superhero movies, Batman and Superman and stuff. But I think there's nothing... And also, we've said before, stunt work should be recognised by the Academy. I'm very passionate about this. I myself have fallen down the stairs, so I know how it feels to be a stunt man. So...
No, to be a clumsy man.
To be a clumsy boy. But the stunt work for this... along with like the pyrotechnics and the special effects and stuff like that, is just on point because it feels dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the two ships are side by side and they're firing stuff, and obviously they are firing some sort of thing out of there. But there are people like jumping in between some of the shots that are being taken. Danger is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they make it really fun. For me, seeing a kind of action sequence like that is more fun for me than watching a car chase.
Okay.
That's just how I'd be built.
You just don't like cars? No, I do like cars, actually. This is weird coming from you.
No, I've tended to find some of the action sequences in a lot of the superhero movies very samey.
Rinse, repeat, yeah.
Yeah, and I get bored so quickly. I don't so much in this.
Do you think that is because there aren't many pirate films?
Maybe, and I don't feel like I've seen everything before. Even with the second one, this kind of seems to get later on with the
wheel.
With the Kraken.
Yeah.
We don't really get that, especially when it comes up a second time and it attacks the ship.
I can't wait to talk about that Kraken scene.
But then again, we get it in the third film with the kind of whirlpool.
With the maelstrom,
so it constantly, these films in general, not just this one, keep doing something different with their action sequences, and I love that.
I think that goes as far as the fifth one as well. I agree. Even though we're just talking about the first three Pirates movies, because I don't think we care that much about the last two.
No, I prefer the fifth one more.
The fifth one is underrated. I do prefer number 5 to number 3. However, number 3 is part of the trilogy and you have to have it.
Yeah, I agree. It's annoying though.
I do like the story of like the young Jack Sparrow and Salazar and the ghosts are quite a good effect as well.
Yeah, and it feels like a better... I wish that 5 would have been the official sequel to the original trilogy. I think I could have not had 4.
Oh yeah, with the mermaids and Blackbeard and stuff.
We didn't need that. Oh, the only characters we've got that we carried forward.
Jack and
Barbossa in. Did we get Gibbs and some of the crew?
Oh, can we just talk about Mr. Gibbs for a while?
He has the best lines.
Mr. Kevin R. McNally, I think his name is. I think that is strong character acting. Like, very good. But you could listen to him to fall asleep to.
No, I didn't. I said he's the kind of guy where he could be in a pub telling you a story and you'd be hanging on to his every word. I think
it's kind of unfortunate that the exposition does fall on him quite a lot. However, he delivers it beautifully.
He delivers it like the creepy man in a pub telling you a ghost story.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why it works.
Uh-huh.
Because they are the kind of people that everyone's like, oh, what sort of crazy shit's he saying?
And you believe him as well.
Yeah, it's the way he acts alongside it. I don't know, but I said to you, I couldn't listen to him tell me a bedtime story because I'd be like, I can't go to fucking sleep. I need to know how this ends.
Oh, yeah. You hang on his every word.
Yeah.
God. That's all I'm saying.
He has the best lines in the second film, though.
I believe you're talking about the heave it,
Lift it.
lift it like a lady's skirt.
Lift it, lads. Lift it like a lady's skirt.
Yeah.
And he has some quite good backwards and forwards with Johnny Depp in the second one as well.
Yeah.
They've got a little bromance kind of thing going on, which I like.
I think they always have a bromance. There's the take what you can, give nothing back stuff.
What about your real favourite characters in this?
Are you talking about Mr. Cotton's parrot?
Mr. Cotton's parrot.
Okay, that joke isn't funny. I appreciate that joke is not funny at all. And I think it's a cliche that they've sort of gone, okay, we have to put a parrot in there. Mm-hmm. However, me being who I am, I think it's funny that this parrot is saying one thing and it means a completely different thing.
Yeah.
For instance, Mr. Cotton's parrot, same question or whatever. And then the parrot says, oh, when is ours? And then fucking Gibbs goes, oh, we often take that means yes. So in the dictionary of this parrot's dialogue, when he says that means yes. But the other phrases are things like Cotton says you missed a bit. Where he's like, oh, shiver me timbers. It's like...
It says you missed a bit.
Yeah, so anytime he says shiver me timbers, that means you've missed a bit, right? I think that's ridiculous.
Do you like the monkey?
No.
Why?
I like the monkey's relationship with Mr. Jeffrey Rush. I imagine Mr. Jeffrey Rush bought that monkey from home. However, makes me jump. Twice. Not so much anymore because I know when it's coming. But first time I watched it, I was like, that monkey's scary.
Remember. Is this the person who jump scared at the Little Mermaid remake?
Yeah, because it came out of nowhere.
That shot came out of nowhere.
I don't know, you dare. Spooky Jesus.
Scary Jesus.
Spooky Jesus, thank you, not scary. The comic relief in this.
Yes.
I think obviously this is an adventure movie. You can't have an adventure movie without some good comic relief.
Yes.
Where do you think, if you were to give a pie chart of where this comic relief comes from, where would you say it would be?
A lot of it comes from Captain Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Because his character he does some of the slapsticky stuff. Gibbs gives you the wit. Barbosa, you can laugh at how diabolical it is, but then they use the two, I don't know their names. I know how they look though.
There's two on either side. There's the good guys and the pirate guys.
The pirates ones are the ones I think that people know the most because I think they have some iconic lines in this one. Because they're quite threatening in the beginning.
Oh, hello, Poppy.
Hello, Poppy. Yeah.
Okay, I don't like them. And I don't like the other two either. You know, the ones that was like...
I don't like the other two as much.
We've got to watch the ship. It feels very... You know, the rats from Chicken Run?
Oh, yeah. That's
what both of them feel like. So it's like, okay, why have two sets of the same thing?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think that's ridiculous. I think if you cut that comic relief out, I think Will has some good laughs. Mm-hmm. Genuinely. Where...
he plays it straight, though, doesn't he?
And I think that's why it works.
Yeah.
The bit where the wake gives up and then he throws a bucket of water and he goes, that was for the smell. And I think just that delivery alone is quite pitched really well.
It's sort of that parrot that jumps at him and goes, say goodbye, and then he goes through the window and he goes, goodbye.
I laugh because that's a hell of a stunt, because that's got to come from somewhere and he's got to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, stunt work. There are little nuggets of stuff I like in this. I love the bit where there's this little pirate who keeps egging Will throughout the movie
with the bombs,
with the little bombs, yeah. And he crops up a few times, and I thought, okay, that's fine. I never really noticed how much he cropped up until like tonight, when it's Will's time to get rid of him. When the pirate is in skeleton form, he puts the bomb in his rib cage and then pushes him back outside the moonlight, and then it's just trapped in him. He doesn't know what to do, and he's like, no fair. Gold.
But he would have been blown up and still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Until the curse wore off, and then all of a sudden he's fucked.
Do you like a curse in a movie? You don't get many curses in movies these days.
No, I feel like curses in movies and stuff are off. Because we do get them a lot in these action movies, these big adventures. We get the very Indiana Jones, very The Mummy.
The Mummy. Yeah.
We don't really get them so much in... Well, when we think about the films that replace these, which are the superhero films, you don't really get superhero curses. Not really, you don't. Unless you're talking about fucking Suicide Squad.
I'm never talking about Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad was different matter, but not fucking... I know who you're thinking of, that fire guy. Or Katana or whatever it is. I don't care. That film's horrible. Anyway. I was thinking Moon Knight. That's a curse.
I'm talking about the big films, like the big MCU movies.
Oh, okay. You mean the actual important stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. No, not so much. Do you think there is room for a franchise like this?
I think there is now. It depends if it's done well. I think because we've got the superhero genre, it's more or less kind of... I think it's run its course a lot now. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be maybe a little while before they might start being big again.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the MCU's probably spent now.
I think as a species, we've only got room for maybe 2 franchises going at the same time.
I'd agree.
I think there's always the MCU. That's always going to be there. It's not going to go. Star Wars comes and goes, but it's all TV shows now, and Star Wars does not belong on television.
No, I think both of these things eventually... people are going to not necessarily stop watching, but your numbers are going to dwindle.
Yeah. Well, the template for this one would be a big epic adventure set in a world that's full of lore, that's well realised, well acted. I think the closest thing we've had to this, the Pirates films, is Dune.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think people are invested in this universe now, and I think everyone's on tenterhooks to get back into that universe.
Back into a fantasy series, I think.
Yeah.
They're really into Dune, which I'm surprised at, but hey, good for them.
But we can't stress enough that the Pirates films, when they were at the peak of their game, they were the best thing going. The best franchise around, because there was nothing really in competition with it.
No, I think maybe they missed an opportunity for having something out around now. Bit Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, oh, okay. You want to go back Greek?
Well, I think that there's so many different cool Greek myths and Greek monsters.
Yeah.
To make something really cool, that you can make. I mean, they've fucked the Percy Jackson stuff too many times.
He's come back and it's got better.
I think they're going to struggle to make that any bigger than it already is. Mm-hmm. I think they could do with doing it all again, doing something Greek related.
I don't think that lends itself to more young adult stuff.
Maybe.
Whereas this felt a bit more adult. I'm not sure why.
It's a shame we'd never got a good Haunted Mansion film because we could have seen the same thing happen.
Yeah.
We could have seen a trilogy.
It's weird to me that the makers of this and that are the same. Where someone's gone, okay, that Johnny Depp movie really took off, didn't it? What could we possibly do? Okay, let's do the Haunted Mansion. That's great. Who should we get? I don't know. Eddie Murphy?
Oh.
That's not...
What the Inside Critic said? Ruined!
Yeah, exactly. That is not the same as getting an actor like Johnny Depp to bring something that he's created himself. Mm-hmm. Going back to Johnny Depp, I think there are points in this, and it gets worse throughout this franchise, where he is undirectable.
Okay.
Where it happens more in the third one. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when we get the sequence with Jack in the locker and stuff.
Yeah.
But it feels like, okay, the director's gone... They've learnt from the last one. Mm-hmm. Where they've gone, okay, everyone likes Jack Sparrow. Let's get more Jack Sparrow. And I think the second one, it's fine, because I love the second one, it's fine, yeah. But in the third one, I think they rest on him a bit too much.
Yeah.
And I think I've checked as well, Johnny Depp had major spinal surgery throughout this franchise because he was carrying it.
Oh,
he was carrying this franchise.
It's me hanging on your every word, Gibbs.
Oh, was that I make no games?
And you're full of shit.
But I think the director's he's afraid to say no to Johnny Depp.
I think the problem is this as well, because it became so big after the first film and audiences loved it. It's like, we need to do everything we can now to keep Depp on side. And to keep him happy, and by doing that, it's by giving him more to do. It's what the audience want from him.
I appreciate, but I can notice it.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the third one, because I know some of the points in that film where it happens.
Yeah.
As a open and closed film, I think this franchise gets convoluted much later down the line. Second one onwards, and then it starts sort of reboots. It's a soft reboot, the fourth one.
I thought the second one was clever in how it kind of tried to bring things around. But then I think the third one for me was the problem. I despised it the first time I saw it.
I think the problem with it is that in this one, which is the first one, there's a lot of swapping and changing. Mm-hmm. Like Jack wants to get on the Blackpool, and then he's off it, and then he's on it again, and he comes back. Mm-hmm. And he's not the only character that's doing it. Like Will's back and forth as well. Loads of people are going loads of different places.
Yeah.
The problem with the second one is you're still doing that. You've got that template, but you're introducing new characters, and they're doing their different things. Mm-hmm. And then the third one rocks around.
Third one was ridiculous.
And it's every pirate ever, and they're all doing the same thing.
Because they've all got to be noticed, they've all got to be a bit different, and that was too much.
And you have to give everyone the screen time. You've got to wrap up all these stories from the first two films, and then...
But it completely forgot about parts of the second one, the third one did, and it always pissed me off for that, but we'll get to that when we get there.
I've got a soft spot for the third one. I think there's good stuff in there, but the second one I can't wait to talk about.
Neither can I. Dead Man's Chest was top cinema there.
What did you give this one out of...
3.5.
You gave this 3.5?
I'll tell you why. I feel like it's a bit long.
Okay.
For me.
A
bit too long.
2.5 hours, the same length as the second one, if not shorter.
Yeah, but the second one's better.
Okay.
So... I don't know. All I can do is kind of judge it from the first time I watched it, and I've never really changed my opinion on it. In that I don't know, there was something about it that didn't wow me, really, and I don't know why. I think it's something to do with the story.
Okay. Is it because you watched it on maybe a small screen the first time you viewed it, and you couldn't really buy into the spectacle, and then when you see the second one, which you are already anticipated for, you're seeing it at the cinema, and you can...
But I always thought the second one had got a great story too. I don't know what it is, but I couldn't really give it more than 3.5. You gave it 5, didn't you?
This is a 5-star movie, absolutely. It's up there with the Mummies. It's up there with the Indiana Joneses. It's unique. It feels unique. It may not be. # swashbuckling and stuff like that. But it's a breath of fresh air in a time where superheroes would dip in their toe. Mm. And I think we as a species have forgotten about the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Which is why I think I wanted to cover them on the podcast. Because I think they're little nuggets of gold. Yes,
we need something like that back in again. I think they've maybe tried to revive it a little bit again by bringing in Indiana Jones.
He doesn't count. He's...
But you know what I mean? It's that family adventure film.
I think, really, the last good film to do it would be Ready Player One. But that is completely different.
I mean, I think they're trying to do it now with the whole Monsterverse stuff. They're trying to create this kind of family, all come together to watch these movies. And we're just getting more and more convoluted shit.
I think it's stupid stuff.
It's really stupid.
There's a rush to get things out now.
Yeah, same as Transformers. We don't need any more of this stuff. Create something new. Create something different.
But do you feel like so what happened with Jungle Cruise then? I think that was trying to do something new and different, and it didn't do it.
Didn't that come out around the pandemic, though?
Oh, it did, didn't it? Oh, gosh. Yeah, it did. Maybe that killed it. Apparently that wasn't a very good film anyway.
I think that the problem as well is I think it's a bit of rock fatigue as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I like The Rock, but I'm sick of seeing his face. His shiny, bald face.
Maybe the Jumanji films are doing that at the moment. People quite like those as adventure films.
But they've dipped as well now. I think you have to keep it in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
Which is... I think maybe we as a species have evolved to become a bit less thoughtful. I mean, it was like, we need content now. We have to have it now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing as well, because a lot of these different streaming services are creating TV shows and movies all the time, and some of the effects on those as well are incredible. You don't have to wait now to go to the cinema to see a blockbuster film, because you can see something that's amazing and well made on a streaming service that's like Netflix's own.
Yeah. But this one... There's
something about this that makes it special.
I can remember the feeling I had, not so much for this one because I didn't see it the first time around, but for the second one, I remember that feeling of anticipation because the hype was real, and then when the trailer dropped for the third one, the hype was real.
Yeah.
It's up there with Deadpool and Wolverine status. That's just dropped a trailer today. That's going to be all over the internet. But back in the early 2000s, when the Pirates trailer film was coming out, that's all anyone was talking about, and that's all anyone went to see. I just miss it. It felt more wholesome then.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that excitement again with people. And we kind of touched upon that a little bit. Completely different films, but with the kind of Barbenheimer stuff last year. People were excited to go to the movies again.
Yeah.
I want to see people excited to go out and see a big blockbuster film.
Do you think we're going to get one this year?
I think it's going to be Wolverine and Deadpool that people are excited for.
That's not a family movie.
It's not a family movie, but I think that'll be the film people are really excited for, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Anything that's not a superhero film, I think we're not going to really get.
I think we've already had it. I think Dune 2 has really snapped it up. The last one to do it would be Barbie for last year.
Yeah. I mean, the hype for Barbie was so real.
Insane. Like, otherworldly. I just want to go back to the times where...
It was so wholesome.
We didn't have streaming. We had to wait for these things to come out on video and DVD.
We couldn't catch these movies early either.
Exactly. You had to go searching for the trailers. It didn't just pop up on your phone. These were better times, is what I'm saying. But Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, better than Space Jam?
Yes.
Excellent. Even though it's 3.5.
Space Jam's fucking mid, isn't it? Come on, let's not lie.
Okay. I love this film a lot. I've got a lot of time for it.
I'd be interested to see what people think, though, about the differences with the ride. If many people have been on the ride, what they think.
Well, the ride's very straightforward.
But how they think it compares to the movie. If they think if the film captured the essence of what the ride was trying to do.
Yeah, that'd be fair. But I don't think there's any big fans of the ride out there.
Oh, I think there is.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're one of them.
The people that love theme park rides love theme park rides because they're kind of like their own movie in a way.
Yeah.
You know, when you're completely immersed into a story.
But the thing with the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is the suspension of disbelief starts as soon as you're in the queue.
Oh, yeah, because the queue is everything from what you can smell to what you can hear.
Exactly.
Is bringing you into that world.
So I think that sort of lends it to it. I think people just like pirates, don't they? Pirates will forever be cool. Hashtag not you, Captain Phillips. Not you, Captain Phillips, you can get in the bin. I mean, not you, Captain Phillips. Digging a hole.
Alright, bye.
Okay, great. This is better than Space Jam. This is a high point of the franchise. I have a favourite of the franchise, which is the second one, but this is the better film.
It's not.
It's open, it's closed, it's great.
But it's not the better one.
You can have a favourite but still...
No.
Okay, alright, fine. Have you enjoyed going back to this film though?
Yeah, I have. It's nice to revisit these movies.
Yeah. Dead Man's Chest though, next week.
Oh, what a vibe.
I can't wait to watch it again.
My boy Davey.
Woo! Okay, but Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Let us know what you think. Better than Space Jam? Yes, I would be interested to see if anyone says no.
Yes.
But, yeah, we'll see you next week for Dead Man's Chest. Aye.
Bye.
Bye.